a shot of the houses. I'm leaving from my first trip over here. Make a few trips. The boat is cranking up. Which takes about 20 minutes to cross the bay. Biggest mountain is a garbage dump. Yep. Out there somewhere where I'm from. And Fire Island National Seashore is actually part of the national park system. Yep. I'm still hiking in a park, even though it's a hike in a resort town. Primarily gay resort town. I'm straight, but whatever. And over there are some more stores, the pizza place is over there. And we'll get a look at there in a little bit. Oh, and here comes another little cart. This is how workers get around. Private people can't buy one of these, but workers can. I got to drive one a few times back when I was working at the grocery store. Alright folks, well that was really nice. Eric over at the pantry gave me my soda for free since I used to work there. And give them a little plug there. Oh, yeah, please, yeah, if you're coming out here, buy your groceries at the pantry. Don't bring them. So now I wanted to show you. There's the Bay Harbor right there. And we're going to keep the camera running for a few minutes. Because I want you to see just how narrow this island really is. It's pretty amazing, Fire Island, how it's a narrow strip. We can see the nice houses here. This isn't even the, since we're so close to the harbor, this is almost like the, not the rich part of it, but I mean it's all expensive. But there is some condos up here. Like these are your entryways, and you can see here like the wood on this one is brand new. It's still got that regular wood tone. And the gentleman back at the harbor I was talking to, see, this is how you have your entry off of the boardwalk. But the gentleman at the harbor I was talking to mentioned, and told me that it's called, they call it silvering, is what this, when the wood, there's a lot of bamboo fences, but when the wood turns this gray, well, it's actually silver.
Potato salad, and probably some greens. So
that's called silvering. You can't really, I guess theoretically you could coat the wood to prevent the silvering, but it's somewhat of a lost cause out here because the salt air will just strip any coating right off of anything. So you can see everything has this silver gray color. Well, there's an example for you of, there's a house that's brand new with the new wall around it. Stuff gets built and rebuilt so fast here. An upgrade. Now this is what I was talking about the these are the co-ops, which are rentable and slightly reasonable. Everything is expensive here, but these are not too terribly expensive to rent a place in for a week or so, or whatever you want. There are a lot of different ways to rent. There's the hotel, and there's all these houses, and they have all these different sort of plans where you could rent a weekend or a week or a block of weeks or a block of weekends, a block of weekends plus a week. It's endless options if you've got a few $1,000s to spend on rent, which it'll be worth it out here. And there we are. We are at the ocean. You saw how far we walked. That did not take very long at all, and we're at the ocean. The beach is it's not a very wide beach, but it's, you know, the sand's real soft and it goes on for miles and miles in both directions. We'll show you some more of the beach in a little while. But yeah, do you believe that? This whole island is just that wide. What did that take me? 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to walk across here? Alright. Coming down from a high point, my GPS is registering around 50 feet, 55, 60 feet is the highest elevations. and most of the island being around 20 feet. Back at the bay side, Baywalk again. What a way to get around town, huh? Not just the carts, walking or on the carts, but boardwalks. No streets, no traffic lights. Okay folks, this is why you do not leave the boardwalks in Fire Island ever. Look at that big vicious bastard. You can see how it's kind of shiny up here, but they're not always shiny. They're not always this big. That's your poison ivy. We've got a little swamp. And look at this. Is this fantastic or what? And it's about a mile through here. Maybe it's 2 miles total from the harbor and the pines to the harbor and the grove. Maybe a little less. People here who aren't used to walking think it's a long ways. You can see what kind of progress we're making. We're most of the way there already. You can also walk down the beach, but this is probably the most convenient, easiest to walk on path. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the camera, but I'm gonna record the majority of what's going on in here because it's just so beautiful. This part's a little sandy. Yeah, see, it gets really confusing in there. That path that I just passed over might have been a through path. I'm not really sure. Alright, you know what? I can see right up here. So, yeah, that very last right turn, you could have taken it, and all it was really going to do was snake through the woods and bring us right back over to here. I can see it intersecting again. We could stay on the sand, and I could have kept going straight, but it gets very tiring to walk on the sand. And in here we've got a little shade. Of course, I'm not 100% positive. I'm relatively certain this path I just got onto is going to, this looks like it's a not very often used one, but yep, see, and over here, see, it's complicated. They all lead to the same place, but if you take too many turns off of this one, you end up kind of lost in the woods. So now I'm back on this one. So apparently I made a left, one of those right turns I could have made, and it would have still brought me to here. Now I'm just a few feet past the last place. This is a bridge that somebody made through the swampy part. We're just about there. Look at how nice this is. is up there. I can hear the ocean. No, I can't hear the ocean. I can hear the ocean breeze. And I can hear the bay. And the airplane. And right up here, when I get to the end of the trail, Cherry Grove, they have a interesting tradition of naming the houses. I haven't noticed that so much in the pines, but in the grove, see, now we're right along the bay, and you can see there's the first house in Cherry Grove. There's some, yeah, erosion slowly taking the beach away. The tide is up pretty high. Look at those trees just sticking up out of the water. The hurricane wiped out. This used to be Boardwalk in front of us. It kind of connected over there, but it's been wiped out for a long time. And it got wiped out even more after Sandy. And people just kind of shifted the pathway over to here. And we just stepped onto the boardwalk at Cherry Grove. And if you're trying to figure out where about we are, it's a Bayview Walk. That's Ivy Walk, the first of the named properties in Cherry Grove. I forget, this one's something to do with, there you go, Heaven on Earth. I knew it was something to do with paradise or something. That's Heaven on Earth. Not sure which film this will end up in, but here is the little pathway between Sailor's Haven, where Sunken Forest is, and Cherry Grove. I'm heading east. I have to keep thinking about the directions because being from the west coast, everything is backwards here as far as my head is concerned. But yeah, east is where we're going now, towards Cherry Grove. I've never come this way before, and parts of this are somewhat of a new deck. Boardwalk up ahead. Now we're on the part of the new boardwalk, and like most places across the country, we're using recycled plastic decking. Lasts longer, more durable, and better for the environment than cutting down a bunch of trees. We're making our way to the Grove. It's only about, it's at 0.8 mile. We're already part of the way there. A lot of people jogging. See these guys probably jogging back and forth from Cherry Grove. Nice dunes. Different plants. It is a fairly unique environment here. Maybe not as exciting as some of the giant mountains and stuff, but still very interesting. Okay, so when you arrive at Cherry Grove from the west, the boardwalk kind of ended over there. You have to walk on the sand a little bit, and there's a gate here, but it's basically just a deer gate. Keep the deer from coming from the dunes. And here is the west end of Cherry Grove. Lewis and West. And we're gonna walk downtown. There's an interesting fire truck. Let's take a look at that, huh? There is a boardwalk ready fire truck. How excellent. Little tiny fire hydrant for the little tiny fire trucks. Little swampy area. high fire danger over here. You have to be careful if you're smoking, and do not have fires because things burn pretty fast. Now we're just among the dunes, and over here there are a lot of deer out here. There's a young one, and there's a mama. Deer on Fire Island, they haven't been hunted in decades, and everyone feeds them, and so you can feed them by hand in many places. When I used to work in the pantry in the grocery store, we had a deer. It had a tag on it, number 12, that every day almost would come walking up the back deck into the store looking for carrots. Mama deer. No. And this is how the baby's learning right now. You don't really have to worry about us people out here on Fire Island. And they don't have any predator. Look at that. We don't have any coyotes or anything yet. No predators over here. Well, that's zoomed all the way out, so you see I'm like less than 10 yards away from them. And they're flicking the old whitetail. And I'm gonna make my way through the dunes. You're not allowed to walk over the dunes, on the dunes themselves, but there are some little pathways through if you figure it out. But I might actually just go back and take a boardwalk across. In fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do, because I can go up the boardwalk and give you a view from above of all of this. This road, oh, you know, I've only walked about a quarter mile on this. It's pretty miserable, I'll tell you. Just this sand is too deep. The sun is really hot. Okay, so now here we are on one of the walks in Cherry Grove, the last little walk up towards the ocean. You can, from up here, you can see the bay right out there, Long Island across the bay. So you can see how narrow the island is, because there's the ocean right there. And these are the dunes, and they're covered in this weird mixture of pine and other trees and cedar, and I'm not sure what those are. So the pines is about a mile that way. And this is what most of Fire Island, you know, it's either straight sand or this. And you can see here, that's pretty much sea level down there. You know, that's maybe 5 or 10 feet above sea level at the boardwalk down there. So I'm only this high up. Let's see. What do you think that is? 10 feet. It looks a little more than 8 feet. It's about 10 feet up. And we can see across everything. That dune there is a little higher, and there are a few places where the dunes are a good 10 feet, 20 feet higher than this, but that's about it. And this long strip just stretches along the shore, along the south shore of Long Island. Fire Island stretches, I think it's like 40 or 50 miles long. It might be even longer than that, but it's all pretty much this narrow. In some places it's a little bit wider, but not by much. Alright, I'm gonna go check out the ocean. Here we are at the beach. Warm sand. A lot of people down there. It goes a long way. This beach is, like I said, 50, 60 miles. And what's kind of funny is one of the deceptive things that happens is because the beach is so long, it sort of looks like there's a crowd of people down there from where I'm standing, and there's a lot of wind behind us, so I'm going to look this way for a minute. But to my left, it looks like there's a crowd of people. I'll show it to you. But really, it's just a bunch of spread out people that appear to be crowded together because of it's the optical illusion of looking that way. So, out that way is the beach. Go walk in the ocean a little bit. Water's warm. It's perfect. Walking in the water. I might sit down for 5 minutes, but I like to keep moving if I'm awake and not stuck at home. Alright folks, what the heck, real quick, I'll jump in the ocean here. Look at the little forest in between the cherry groves that way to the west. We're at the west end of the pines. We just got out of the ocean. I'll give you a little. It was so nice in that water. One tip I have for anybody, you know, if you stand in there with just your feet, it'll feel cold forever. You got to just dive in. Once you dive in, oh, the water's beautiful. There's some minor waves. If you check your sandbars, you'll find a few waves for body surfing. I did all right out there. Not too bad. Got a couple real good rides. The tide started coming up, and just well, just be careful. You can get tired really fast in the ocean. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad and you can hear all these birds. Cloudy and gray, but very hot. I feel just about perfect now. Yeah. Now, this will be almost directly back towards the pines. Just a tiny little forest among the dunes. It's a little field of reeds along the trails in between the pines and the grove. Just kind of took a little side trip just to see. It looked interesting like this. Kind of a neat little area. The bay is right over there. Gray day today. That's it, we're back. Wasn't very far at all. Boardwalk starts again right over here. And it's about another 10 minutes, not even, down to the harbor area. You'll be able to see. It looks like it's a long way here because you can't see it, but I would say it's a half a mile at the most. Alright.